All right, LSU football fans, we called this BTM, Beef That Moves, from Catholic High School and doing an outstanding job with the LSU Tigers, Emery Jones. Emery, thanks for coming down.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
6'5", 320, 325 or so. How's LSU been for you so far? How's college football?
It's been amazing. It's been an experience. It's been, nothing but fun, nothing but good things to say about it. It's been a struggle for sure, but a good one for sure, a good struggle. And it's just been fun and exciting the whole way. It's been a journey.
So you get thrown in there. You're a true freshman stepping into SEC football. You started 12 games last year, right? It was the final 12 of the year.
Yes, sir.
What did you learn about SEC football? What did you learn about the physicality of the guys you were going up against, the venues you played in, so forth?
The big thing I learned was like being a technician was the most important thing. Everybody's strong and everybody's big at that level. So, it really had to come to, critiquing your technique and like taking the criticism from coaches and, Coach Kelly, Coach Davis, taking their criticism and just trying to implement it in your game every day and just get better. Because like strength is a thing. It's obviously important to be a big, strong guy in the trenches, but like technique is the big thing that's going to take your game to the next level. And then the venues, they were just like amazing. Like before games, we would just walk in the stadium and kind of just look around. Like when we were in Atlanta for the SEC championship game, we kind of just walked in and for like 20 minutes just kind of looked around and kind of absorbed the atmosphere.
Yeah.
We were going to be in.
When you play against Georgia, does that give you a taste of, okay, this is where we need to be? This is where we are, which is pretty good. But to get to Georgia's standard, you kind of tasted that defensive line and what those guys had, right?
Yeah, going into the game, we knew that they were going to be the best D-line we played. As a group, we know all of those guys were good. So, it was just like we had to bring our best game like we did against Bama. Like that was our game plan going in. Everybody as 5 individuals play as one. And, we can beat this team and, beat the D-line, conquer them, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So. It seems to me that it makes a big difference that you end the season in a bowl game against Purdue in which you win handily. That really kind of gives you some positive momentum and positive feelings going into the offseason as opposed to, say, if the Georgia game would have been the last contest of the year.
Yeah, I think that was real important for us, like as a team, just, seeing us all like play at a very high level, like every position group on the team. I feel like it just took the confidence of the group and just like threw it in the air, and now it's kind of like wherever we want it to go, that's where it's going to go at this point.
Yeah, and the expectations, you've only done this 1 year in college football, but seems like the expectations are going to be very high for the team going into 2023.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of blew expectations away, and I feel like we still got the chance to do it again. I feel like everybody feels like this team isn't like super young anymore, and like, we're kind of expected to do good things and big things, but I feel like even those big things that people are setting, those standards, I feel like we're going to blow it away, blow it out the water.
You're already counting down to Florida State?
Yeah, we already counting down. We already getting to work on it. I feel like every day matters. Going to what we won a national championship. So I feel like, and Coach Davis always say everything you do matters. Like from this point, forward, everything you do going forward is going to matter toward the national championship. So we kind of just living by that standard, and been taking it day by day.
No offense to other teams that you play, perhaps non-conference, but the fact that you're playing these guys right out of the box, Florida State, it's already been ranked, I think, the top non-conference game of 2023. The fact that you're leading up to that game certainly, I think, brings an edge and enthusiasm, hey, we got to take care of our business type approach, right?
Yeah, you saw everybody saw what happened last year. We lost in the last kick of the game, really. We fought the whole game. They fought. But we obviously feel like we're the better team. And, I feel like next year, this year, really going into this game, I feel like, we feel like that and we're more confident. I feel like we hadn't played as a team yet. We had a whole bunch of hype and stuff going on around the game and around our team. With BK just getting there, our team being young, having a whole bunch of good prospects, So I just feel like we're going to go far this year. I really do.
I asked Mason Smith this. I visited with him the other day. He was out there, although he couldn't play, obviously. He was helping Quincy Wiggins warm up and helping the other defensive linemen get warmed up for that Citrus Bowl against Purdue. And I asked him, did you take a look around and tell yourself, hey, in 8 months we're going to be back here? And he said, definitely. Did you kind of have that taste in your mouth, too?
This is going to be my 3rd time playing there. I played there in the UA All-American game. I played there against Purdue. And, against Purdue, walking in the stadium, you just feel more comfortable, rather than coming in somewhere new, you haven't really felt the turf. You kind of know what to expect. So I feel like me playing in this game the 3rd time in that same stadium is just going to take the game to a whole nother level.
Let's talk about Brad Davis. Like you, he played his high school ball in Baton Rouge, at Bel Air, won a national championship at Oklahoma 2 decades ago as a player, and then he was kind of a bit of a nomad. He was coaching all across the country to finally be back here in Baton Rouge, the job he really wanted. You already told me that he tells you guys everything matters every day, right? What are some other things that make Brad Davis a great offensive line coach?
I just feel like he's going to be real. 100% of the time you're going to get what he's thinking, how he's thinking it, and it's just going to be that. It's like he always says, like, never take the tone of what I'm saying, always take the message. And I feel like he's just been, making our group go to the next level. Like, he's been pushing us every day. Like, he comes in with the exact same energy. He's always on 10. You know what you're going to get from him. He's very reliable, consistent, and I feel like his way of teaching us and his way of coaching us is very effective. So I feel like he's a great guy, great coach, great mentor, all good things to say about him.
Yeah. I think he's told us before, hey, look, I get X amount of snaps, right? Offense and my offensive line, and every single one of those snaps, I want to see the best out of my 5 guys up front. Where there's no throwaway snaps, there's no throwaway plays. It all matters.
Right. Yeah. He's all in all the time, and I really love him. Like, we kind of built a great bond since I've been at LSU. He's been coaching me and Will hard. Us being younger, he's been wanting us to know that this is important. Like, nobody cares that you're young. Nobody cares that you're freshman. Like, you're on the team, you on the field, so it's play. Like, be confident, play with confidence, play nasty, just kind of telling us all the things we heard our whole life, but it means a little more coming from him.
Somebody years ago told me that was on the LSU team, they're always looking to replace you.
Right.
You always have to have an edge as a player. Even Joe Burrow, maybe. They're looking to replace him, find a guy better if that's possible. So once you put on that uniform and once the Catholic High days are over with, or the high school days, wherever you were at, man, you're fighting to keep that spot, huh?
You're fighting to keep it all the time. It's going to be the exact same on the next level. There's always somebody younger than you coming up, somebody probably faster, stronger, but it's going to be, like I said, if you can be more technical than them, if you can be more locked in, more determined, more disciplined, like just the small things that you don't think really may matter, and those things kind of build up and stack. And I feel like if you can do all those things right, and be the person, like being the person I am, I feel like I know that, I know what I can do, and I feel like everybody else knows what I can do too. So
I remember when Brian Kelly first became the head coach, one of his first stops was over at Catholic High. To see you. David Semino was still the head coach there at the time, and David said, always had glowing things to say about you and Coach Kelly. And so you've been there a little more than a year. Tell me about how has Brian Kelly, your head coach, worn off on you and the team, and where do you think he's got this thing heading right now?
I think he has it heading in the right direction. I feel like he has it heading where every LSU Tiger fan wants it to go, to a national championship, get us back to that stage. And I feel like he has a great plan of getting us there. And he always talks about things like our process, things about like mental performance. Like he does a whole bunch of things that I feel like preps us and, gives us an edge on our opponents, just because like I feel like everybody doesn't do what he do. Like nobody has his plan. I feel like his plan and his scheme is something very like he has it. Like it's Brian Kelly. Like his plan is him. So I feel like he has it going in a really good direction and a really good place.
When we cover LSU women's basketball, head coach Kim Mulkey, and we see her, me and some of the guys in the media, we say nothing gets past her. She notices everything, and I kind of feel like that's most of the head coaches at LSU. That's the way they go about it. And Brian Kelly's the same way, right?
Yeah.
Attention to detail, no details too small.
For sure. Like Coach Davis said that BK has this thing where it's like he's based off stats. So like we have these catapults that we wear on us every day when we're running and practicing, and it kind of shows like your top speed, like what percentile, like what percentage of work are you giving, like your workload, and he kind of watches that every day, and like he would come in the O-line room and say, y'all ain't running. Like I need y'all to run out today. And like if we all don't reach over like 14, 15 miles per hour and we're running after practice. Like it's like things like that I just feel like take us and like from his coaching takes us to the next level.
There's no coasting, huh?
At all. It's always improvement.
You can put cruise control on your car, but not on your body at practice,
not at all.
So you mentioned Will Campbell, and from the second you two guys showed up, it was like These two guys, your position coach Brad Davis, both, these are going to be future pros, all pros, and not to put too much pressure on you. Are you even 20 yet?
No, I'm 19, just turned 19.
19. This guy's 19 years old, right? So you and Will, you're like this, right? You've been that way for years, and when I think about who are the leaders of LSU football in 2023 into 2024, when you'll be a junior, I think about you two guys a lot. Tell me about your relationship, and on the field, off the field.
I feel like it's the exact same. I mean, we built a brotherhood since we've been getting recruited. Since he committed, really, and he was still being a brother to me when it was still up in the air where I was going. So, I just feel like we've been building on that brotherhood, and like we call each other brothers. Like he called my phone, you want to go eat, you want to work out, you want to do this. Like we're on like a brotherhood. So I just feel like on the field it's the exact same. Like we'll be in practice and he'll see me tired, or I'll see him tired. Be like, all right, let's go, pick it up, like lock in, let's finish. Like it's just like stuff like that, like stuff that you would do for your brother. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's different for sure. Like that's somebody who I definitely think I'll know and be best friends with the rest of my life.
And I goof around. He's so good, Will. But then you talk to him. Oh well, sir. I'm just trying to be better. I got a long way to go. It's always like this humble, and it's never like sticking his chest out.
Right. Yeah. He never does that. He never been that type of guy. Since we've been going to camps. Like he camped a lot in high school. I didn't personally. So. Him going to camps and him beating people in camps, never once did Will come to me and be like, oh, yeah, you see me smash him at this. Like, it was never nothing like that. It was more of like, let's watch this film and see what we can do better, or let's see what you can do better. Let's see what I can do better in this situation. Like, it just always, like, he's like BK. We're all, like, I feel like we're all wired the same in the sense of saying, like, we all looking for improvement in any way possible.
So you say he calls you to go eat. I'm thinking about this. Like the average person goes to a restaurant, they might order a 10-ounce, 12-ounce ribeye. Guys of your size, can you eat like 2 or 3 ribeyes? What's it like when you sit down to have a meal?
Well, see, for us, like we gain weight fast. Like I don't know if skinny people, if y'all don't gain weight as fast, but like we gotta kind of conserve what we eat. So, we might go for a ribeye or 2, but like the third one is kind of like, all right, you fat now, calm down. Yeah, so.
So you're 19 years old, but your stomach's still not a total furnace, right?
Nah, it's not
a
all the way.
bottomless pit. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, and you guys have that nice Taj Mahal over there that you eat at LSU, right?
Yeah. It's all right. I'm not to throw no shade. I love all the workers in there, and we all build relationships as we come and see them every day for breakfast and stuff. But the food it's what it is. You like it some days, you don't some days. Kind of the same thing as like when you went to school and you have a cafeteria. Some days it's good, some days you'll have pizza, some days it's. What I mean?
Can the Catholic High cafeteria compare to that at LSU?
I'm not gonna lie, the cafe Catholic wins for sure.
Oh wow!
For sure, Miss
That's
Wanda.
An upset there.
Big shout out to Miss Wanda.
I went to a little high school called North Vermilion outside of Lafayette, and they used to say our cafeteria. I guess it makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they season the food the right way,
But see, the difference with Catholic is you pay for the food. So it's kind of like they kind of have to kind of put
they're
some
obligated
love in
to give
it.
you something.
Yeah, they got to get you something.
They can't just give you the roll and milk and you can't just get by, right?
You pay for everything out of there. Everything.
All right. So spring football. What do you want to accomplish in spring football? What can you gain in spring football? Coach Kelly says, okay, there's no school board. We're not taking score. We just want to improve our traits, our attitude. What is it?
I feel like every year you got to prove yourself again. Like you said, somebody's always coming. So I feel like just out of this spring, I want to build that trust again. Like just completely refresh last year. Last year didn't even happen at this point. Let's refresh. Let's focus on this year. Let's focus on winning this national championship year. Let's just focus on getting better, like one day at a time. So this year in spring practice, I kind of want to just build that trust with the coaching staff again. Like just cancel out last year, cancel out anything that happened last year. Like trust, like build that trust from ground one again, kind of how I did last year.
I guess you watched the 2019 team as a fan, but if you haven't won a national championship, do you know what it takes to win one? I guess that's the question. I
feel like playing, like you said, playing Georgia definitely kind of showed us what it took. Like, it's going to take zero, or not, I'm not going to say zero. It's not, nobody's perfect, nothing's perfect, but I feel like it's going to take you to be as close to perfect as possible to win that national championship. Because Georgia last year, like, if you watch them, they didn't make a lot of errors. Like, hardly ever. Like, you would see them making a bad error. So, I feel like as close as we can get to perfect, as we can get, I feel like that's what it's going to take for us to win it.
The coaches who take over programs, they always say, let's do the things that require no talent, right? jumping off sides, those kind of things. So that's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Right.
And Coach Kelly he's also put a big emphasis on academics, getting your degree, going to class.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people may say, "Oh, come on, it's about winning football games and winning an SEC championship or a national championship." But can you speak to the emphasis he's put on that?
Yeah, when you walk in the team room, the thing where he talks and there's a screen over the top of the screen that says "Graduate Champions," and that's something that he always emphasizes to us, like graduate champions, like graduate, like. Get your degree, play football, graduate a champion from here in a football sense, but also graduate a champion like from an academic sense. Get your degree, it's free. You know, he always talks about like even if you leave and go to the draft, you can still come back and LSU will pay for your school. So I mean, like academically is always something that they're pushing. You know, they check our academics every week, checking our test grades, like our homework assignment. Like it's something that they have been pushing, and I'm very thankful for how much they've been pushing us academically.
Josh Williams, veteran running back, who may be a big candidate to wear 18 this year. I don't know. We'll see. But, I mean, he's kind of set the standard on the academic side of things, huh?
Yeah, Josh is a great guy. I have nothing negative that I could even think about saying about Josh. He always walks around with a smile, bright smile on his face. He always, speaking. He's just a great guy to be around, great guy to have in your facility.
Yeah, and he could play another 2 years, I think. He's got eligibility left in that regard. And then the quarterback position. So Jaden was voted the MVP of the team, and rightfully so. The yards he accumulated, which I think was 3,800 almost total, and the touchdowns, which were almost 30 when you come to passing and the running combined. So a year ago at this time, I guess we knew a little bit about him, the fact he had played at Arizona State, but you still had Miles Brennan in the mix kind of as the veteran presence. Now it's kind of like Jaden Daniels is the veteran, and your quarterback is always kind of the face of the team. So tell me about Jaden.
Jaden's a great guy. Like I said about Josh, he always has a smile on his face. He's always speaking. He's just a great guy to be around in the sense of football and off the field football thing too. Like when we go do events for football, you see Jaden across the room smiling and joking around with the wide receivers or joking around with the running backs, and he come joke with the O-line. So, I mean, it's always nice when you have a quarterback who comes to show love to the O-line. I feel like he's been doing a great job at showing us that love. So. Yeah.
And his versatility, like in the Alabama game, for example, late in regulation, you've got that third and long, and he breaks contain and runs for 30-plus yards. And then your first offensive play of overtime, he just takes it around the end. And there's sometimes he ran in for a 25-yard touchdown. There's sometimes where it feels like he's not even putting effort into it. It's like he's moving in slow motion, but the other guys are behind, left behind.
Yeah, he moved. I ain't gonna lie. Like on the field, you can see him. He's darting. He's gone. Like he changes direction fast. He's stopping on the dime. He's like everything that you like that you see like NFL players do. You see Jaden doing, and it's kind of like cool. Sometimes you see him like 20 yards. He's already past you. He just ran past you. He's already 20 yards down the field. So it's definitely fun watching him play. He's definitely like a magician. I like to say.
Yeah, early in August of last year when I went to practice, I'm like, when this guy takes off, it's electric. You know?
Yeah, it's always something like if he's taking off, then I'm expecting 20, 25 yards, out of every run from him, honestly. And that's kind of that's the standard that he's been setting for himself. So, I mean, it's kind of just fun watching him, honestly.
And just like at your position where they're always bringing in somebody to push you, Garrett Nussmeier played the last 2 games of last year and certainly brought some electricity, some ability to fire the ball down the field, some kind of moxie. He's not a big guy, but he kind of, carries himself that way. Yeah,
like Garrett in the locker room is a veteran guy to all of us. Also, like you got Jaden and us. It's always both of them in conversation. We're thinking of quarterbacks. So. We got a young guy, Ricky Collins, who's also following right in their footsteps. We got a very strong quarterback room, and I feel like both of those guys are definitely vets in our program, and we trust both of them with the ball.
Yeah. And that's what makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
See guys compete. And your wide receivers, Brian Thomas, Brian didn't talk, does he? He can't find words out of this guy. But a very talented guy coming back, and then Malik Neighbors, and then you throw Mason Taylor in there, who's a tight end technically, but he's kind of like a wide receiver hybrid. And tell me about the guys you can throw the ball to.
We got a whole bunch of weapons like you just named. We got Malik, who's getting better every week. You got Brian Thomas, who's going high ball. You got Chris Hilton, who's running lightning speed.
Hopefully healthy, right, Chris?
Healthy, yes sir, healthy Chris. You got Sheldon Sampson coming in, who's going to be good. You got Jalen Brown, who's coming in, who's going to be good. So we got a whole bunch of guys, who can be key parts to that wide receiver room, and I feel like a whole bunch of those guys will be key parts in our team.
And then Aaron Anderson from New Orleans, who was at Alabama 1 year, he's got an injury, but it looks like he'll be on special teams returning kicks in some capacity. And
yeah, I think he's going to be. I mean, I watched him, played against him in high school, I mean, he's one of the most electrifying guys I've ever seen. Like, he gave that car team electricity when they had none. Like, playing against us, I mean, he returned the kick. So it was kind of like just watching him work and watching him, eat against us. I mean, I already know what he can do. And I, fully expect him to come in here and do the same thing.
More eating.
Yep.
So some other guys on the offensive line. So Big Charles Turner Jr., your center, he's injured right now, so he can't go. But you got Marlon Martinez. Tell me about Marlon.
He's a great guy, great leader, a guy who's always kind of going to be there for everybody. He kind of sits kind of back and watches, and then if he feels like he needs to input or say something or be there for somebody, he's always there. And I got a lot of love for him.
Yeah. And then Charles, Charles didn't start at center last year, and then he came in, and then he had some injuries, and then they said, "Oh, Marlon's doing a pretty good job." So Charles is always kind of getting challenged, to hold it down.
Yeah, and I feel like he has his whole career here. I call him OG just because like he's seen. That's our little nickname. I call him OG, and it's just because like he's been through this process. Like everybody who he came here with is either transferred or going to the draft. So it's like he's seen like a whole rotation of like the program. He's been in it good and bad. So I just kind of call him OG because I look at him as like he's real wise. Like Charles, he'll tell me something and I'm taking it. Like I'm taking everything he's telling me in just because I feel like I respect him and I feel like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, good deal. And then Dellinger, kind of a Yankee, came from Michigan. Humble guy, great guy on the line.
He's quiet. He jokes around. We love joking around with him. I mean, we all joke around. Our old line room is super close. So, I mean, we all kind of got parts and pieces that we play, and I feel like, Delly's a fun guy. He's always coming in talking about his Harry Potter games or something like that. He's that type of guy. So, I mean, we have fun all the time. I mean, in the locker room, we're all joking around, playing around. So, we all mess with each other, and we mess with him about the Harry Potter a lot too. So
yeah. Okay, I learned something new. Dellinger is a Harry Potter guy.
He's a Harry Potter guy.
And then Bo Bordelon, he came in with you in this recruiting class. There were 4 offensive linemen in your class. Fitzgerald West, what a great name. Fitzgerald West sounds like a president, right? He's moved to defensive line.
Yes, sir.
So, but Bo, tell me about Bo.
Bo is one of the strongest guys I know. Like his hands are. I have pretty big hands, and Bo's hands almost 2 times the size of my hands. So he has like the biggest hands, one of the strongest guys I know. But he's also one of the most hardworking guys I know. Also, like Bo takes criticism, and he maybe after practice that next day he'll be on the field trying to fix it. So like Bo's just that type of guy who's going to work at whatever he wants, and I truly feel that Bo's going to get whatever he wants out of this.
And his little brother's talented guy too, right?
Brett's the size of Bo, and he's 2 years younger or 3 years younger, so he's going to be a force to be reckoned with when he gets to LSU also.
Love it. Miles Frazier, he came here through the transfer portal. That's another big man. That's a veteran you got back.
Yeah, Miles Frazier kind of opened my eyes to the kind of guys coming out the transfer portal because personally I didn't like at first I wasn't like a big fan of it. Just because I saw it like messing up a lot of people out of high school, but kind of like Miles kind of opened my eyes and kind of like it was just like, all right, maybe these guys aren't bad. Maybe these guys are just looking for a new opportunity. So, meeting Miles, he's from Jersey, he's different, he likes to dance and stuff like that. So we just kind of, like me and Miles, we'll be on the football field dancing. Like, it's just fun things, fun memories and stuff like that I have with him.
Never say never, but I can never see Emery Jones even considering the transfer portal.
Nah, this is home. This is home.
Baton Rouge, Catholic High, LSU, that's it.
Yeah. Go to the Saints if I can. I mean, stay at home.
Game over. Lance Hurd, he's a freshman out of Neville High School. I think you said you met him one time or something like that. Coaches joked about his confidence and said, I'm going to be the left tackle coach.
Yeah, that's what he said. Will was kind of mad about it, but, we joke about it now. I mean, I met him a couple of times, but the one time I really been around him was on this official visit. And it kind of just being around him, he's a real funny guy. He's a real jokester, real guy who just likes to have fun. And, we all love him for it. And we find it funny. So
yeah, good deal. Mason Lunsford, he's coming in. He's going to be a transfer from Maryland. He started a total of 26 games the last 2 years, and when you're playing in September and October in the heat, and I mean, you know, it's not unusual for a guy to go down. You got to put somebody in, so you can never have too much depth in the offensive line.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna do nothing but push everybody on the starting five. I feel like everybody coming in. Lance, that guy from Maryland. I mean, we got like 3 or 4 people coming in, and I mean, I feel like it's gonna do nothing but, you know, up the intensity level in the O-line room.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We're all excited about it.
Shelton Sampson, wide receiver, you were at his signing. Both these guys are Team Gordon, by the way. I should have mentioned that right off the bat.
Good Gordon for sure.
NIL, Gordon McKernan. No one has done more for LSU football NIL than Gordon McKernan. I think 15 guys he signed total on the football team. But what kind of electricity does Shelton bring to the team?
Playing with Shelton, you know, that's like a little brother to me. So I kind of always watched him from a little brother standpoint, but it's like I can't do anything but be proud of him. Like the year that he had, he kind of just lived up to his name. And I mean, like in high school, that was like me and him talk. So like a big thing in high school, like even in that I faced was like the pressure of like living up to your name. And like that's something that he also was kind of thinking about. And I told him, like, you are who you are. Like, it's no mistake that you got these offers. It's no mistake that, you know, everybody knows who Shelton Sampson is. So at this point, it's just go out there and show him. And I mean, I feel like he did that every game of the season that he played. And he played with a hurt finger. You know, he played with a really injured finger, and he did that against some of the best guys. You know, he went against a couple of 5-stars this year and just obliterated them. So, no, nothing but you know, positive and happy for what direction he's going in. And
kind of off the path a little bit, but Catholic High, their quarterback, this Daniel Beal, he's been playing since his freshman year and winning at a big level. I'm wondering about his college future.
I feel like he is going to go really far in college football. Watching Daniel, he's working hard. You know, coming in, he was a little slow. His freshman year, he was slower than everybody. I mean, he was young, but he didn't want to hear that. So he was slower than everybody. And I mean, he went and ran track, and he went and got faster. And this year, you can see him like breaking away from people and breaking through tackles and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, any deficit that he has in his game, he's going to work at it and fix it. And I feel like he has the chance to be the next Tom Brady, you know, or somebody like that. I'm maximum confidence for him.
Or Sunshine, right? He's got the blonde hair and the, you know, looks like a quarterback from a movie.
Yeah.
All right, a couple things from last year's LSU team. So the Alabama game, when Coach Kelly says we're going for 2 in overtime to win the game, what are your memories of that?
Honestly, when we went for 2, I was kind of like, I was lost. Like the whole line was kind of lost to the situation. We were all getting ready for field goal. And we were like, we're going for 2. We see Jaden walk back. We're like, oh crap. Like, let's do it then. I mean, it's like, we got this far. Why not go for 2? I mean, in that moment, you got to have all 11 guys on the same page. And I feel like we were all trying to win that game, you know. So when they said it was get lined up and play, finish it. And I mean, that's what we did.
Is that good coaching to just spring it on you so you don't have to think about it very much?
I'm not sure. I mean, it worked. So I mean, he has to know a little something about what he did. So I mean, it worked. And you know, we were all hyped up, excited. You know, the whole Louisiana was really.
Yeah. I after the game interviewing Mason Taylor, and said, I don't know, maybe it's good you didn't grow up here and didn't realize the magnitude of LSU, Alabama, and you know the weight of so much coming your way in that football that he made the catch. And he just said, you know, we practice it every day. I think it's called an arrow route. I catch it every day in practice. I catch it there.
Right. I honestly thought he didn't get in. I thought he fell to the left of the goalpost, and I was like, no way. But the official held his hands up, and I was like, all right, well, let's celebrate then. I mean, we just beat Bama. Like, I mean, that was me and Will's first goal, like coming in. I was like, beat Bama our freshman year, and every year that we're here. So you know, that's what we're gonna try to hold ourselves to that standard for us and for LSU.
So this year you'll go to Tuscaloosa.
Try to beat them there, and then come home. Beat them again.
I'm sure they'll be showing that play over and over to motivate themselves. But LSU's had success over there. Beat them in 19, and the last time, 28-point underdog and almost won. Lost by 6 points. When a moment like that happens, do you hear the Tiger Stadium crowd? I've had guys over the years tell me, I don't hear the crowd. Maybe I don't know, you're wearing a helmet, obviously, but the blackout, that's another term. I blacked out, you know, or whatever. But
you definitely hear the crowd, but I feel like in that moment, in that point in time, the whole stadium was quiet. I feel like everybody in Louisiana who was watching that game was sitting there quiet with their fingers crossed, hoping that, you know, we got in that end zone. So I mean, it was pretty quiet, but like definitely throughout the season, you can hear Tiger Stadium roar. Like you'll be in the locker room, you're hearing stumping and stuff like that from over you because the stands and people are getting hyped up before the game. I mean, it'll be an hour before the game you're hearing it. So, I mean, it just gets you hyped up and gets you in the mode that, like, it's no other feeling, honestly.
I've watched that video many times of all the teammates on top of Mason after he caught the ball and pulling him up, and all these people rushing onto the field and the chaos that ensued and all that. I guess when you're a big guy like you the crowds rushing to the field, that doesn't bother you?
Not at all. We loved it. They actually rushed the field. I think that was Ole Miss game, and I mean, it was just like, I just love it. I love when we get them that excited that they don't care about, you know, the guys who are standing right there saying stay back. Like, they're running through them no matter what's happening. I kind of love that we can get them that excited. So it's honestly nothing I've ever felt before.
Ole Miss was a little less aggressive than Alabama.
Oh yeah. But
Ole Miss, they kind of trickled out. This one, it was like.
Yeah, it was like it was happening. I don't even think security would have even tried. I think security might have been in the crowd with them, honestly. Like, no. I feel like everybody was happy for that win.
Yeah, they had the white flag security. Like, you know. Nothing we can do about it. I just remember after the game, we were just wedged in there trying to get to the locker room to do the post-game interviews. Eventually, we got there. Some of the fans were trying to go through the locker room to leave. You know, the north end zone there.
Yeah. They were like trying to pull us through the crowd. Like they had cops and police coming, like grabbing us and pulling us through the crowd. We're pulling back, going back into the crowd, just like enjoying the moment. Like I feel like everybody was just enjoying the moment. Like we had recruits in the locker room turning up with us. Like it was just a very fun and a night to remember for sure.
Well, many, many years from now, I don't know, 60 years from now with this guy, whatever, when you're sitting on your porch and you're thinking about the old days, you'll never forget that moment.
Ever. Coach Davis actually said, you know, y'all might be 50. Y'all might come back and show y'all kids this game and show them that moment and just kind of tell them, like, how you were feeling in that moment. It's just something that you're always going to remember. So.
Yeah, absolutely. A moment in time. You made a tackle last year, Mississippi State.
Yes, sir.
It was a punt, and then so it was bad news. Then it was like, well, Emery Jones shouldn't be tackling people on punts. But at the same time, I was like, wow, pretty impressive that the offensive lineman who got out there and made a tackle on a skilled position player one-on-one.
Yeah, and I mean, like I talked about earlier, kind of building that trust, and that was like the big thing that was in my mind. I wasn't starting at that point, but I was always on punt. So it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take this opportunity. Like I'm gonna do everything right, and hopefully something happens. And so, Southern game, I had a big pancake block. And, you know, I feel like I got the coach's eyes on me a little bit, and Mississippi State was my first start. So and I was starting and I was still on punt. So I was like, all right, well, now I'm starting, but I'm still going to, you know, do my thing on punt. And it's kind of funny because I was telling my friends, like, a couple of days before the game, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm about to smash something on punt. Like, I just feel like I'm going to get a tackle this week. I just feel it. So, I mean, I had it replaying in my mind over and over for some reason, and, like, I saw him coming. I was like, all right, well, let's do it. So he stumbled a little bit, and I wrapped him up and brought him to the ground. I was excited. I mean, it turned us all up. I feel like so.
I'm sure on the sidelines they were yelling and upset because I think it was like a 30-yard punt return.
Yeah, it was like a 30-yard return. Yeah.
But did you hear from your teammates? Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah, everybody came and was like, hey, let's go here. Like it was just like I was hyped up that whole game, and that was my first start. So it was kind of like everybody knew it was like my first. So everybody kind of watching. Yeah. But I feel like once I did that, it kind of just like sparked the trust from the coaches, and I feel like I felt that, and it just helped me play a little bit more confident.
Appreciate your time. A couple more things here. Mom, tell me about Mom.
Mom is just working. Mom is working and enjoying the kind of off season. You know, she's able to be around my little sister more and around we're all around the family more. Now that it's not football season, so it's just kind of been bonding, a whole bunch of family time. You know, my mom cooks, so she's been cooking and just enjoying the family time, honestly.
What does Mom cook?
Whole bunch of everything, really. Soul food, that's what she likes to call it, soul food.
And I have a general idea, but tell me what goes into a dish. There's a plate slid in front of you. What are the three things on the plate? Or
a whole bunch of meat, honestly. Meat. That's her big thing is like bacon, chicken, meat, frying, you know, just anything that she can do to make somebody smile with the food. So
high protein.
High protein for sure.
High protein diet there. And you just had a little vacation. You went to Destin with some of your teammates?
Yes, sir. Had a great time in Destin. Went out there for about 4 or 5 days, met a whole bunch of people. just had a fun time. It was kind of a time to relax. You know, we don't get a whole bunch of time to go on vacation and stuff like that. So just a good time to go have fun, relax, not worry about football, just kind of live life. So definitely something fun, something that we're going to have to do again.
Do you ever run into guys that play for other teams?
Oh, yeah. One day we were out, and it was like 4 teams in there. It was like us, Bama, Ole Miss, Tennessee was in there. It was just like a whole bunch. I mean, but it's like good energy. Nobody's like coming to ruin somebody else's night. It's kind of like everybody, oh, you play for this team, what's your name? Like, it's just meeting people. Like, that's why I said meet a whole bunch of people, you know, meeting a whole bunch of great people. I met the kicker from Bama, and it was like, wow. Like, just met the kicker from Bama. Like, it's just, like, I mean, you still like a kind of a kid in a way, so like, you still like, it's kind of like you're meeting football players who play D1 football. So, I mean, it's still kind of cool to meet them. Even though you're like one of them yourself, it's just kind of cool to like be around those guys for sure.
A kicker from Bama, he barely made that field goal at the end of regulation. He just cleared the bar. But I guess you guys, you have a sense. It's like, I don't know, it's like cats and dogs or something. When one enters the room, I can tell he's one of me, right?
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's another football player. You can definitely tell.
They're not my size, right?
Nah.
So, all right. Well, is there anything else you want to add but before we let you go here?
No, sir. Just want to say thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming down. I can't believe you're 19 years old. This guy sounds like he's ready to like be on national broadcast or something, break down games as an analyst. But
I try, man.
I know a lot of people, they look at you and they're proud of you, and they're like, man, that's the way to do it. So keep up the great work.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Emery Jones, everyone.